Hello everybody, I am Jay Shady, also known as the Voice of Reason, and it is time to talk about WrestleMania 9er, the 9th WrestleMania. And this is a phenomenal show. What an amazing production this WrestleMania is. Now I understand why everybody gives it such rave reviews. I check out reviews on YouTube. Everybody places it in the top 5, top 3 WrestleManias of all time, and I have to wholeheartedly agree. Rarely have I ever seen a show with such great production, just such a good card top to bottom, such good booking, just great classy entertainment. This is perfect. So this WrestleMania, it's at Caesar's Palace. It has a Greco-Roman theme, like, I guess ancient Rome style. Everybody, gladiator days, everybody's dressed in togas. You have camels coming out. You have some elephants coming out. It takes place during sunny, broad daylight weather. This is fantastic. I mean, what says WrestleMania more than togas? I mean, this is perfect. Why do they still not dress in togas? I don't understand. You have Howard Finkel being called Fincus Maximus. This is what WrestleMania was built upon, and they've lost their way in recent days. So here we go. Let's talk about the show. Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship opened up the show. This was a good match. This was actually a good match, a good opener. A lot of entertaining stuff. You had great selling from Shawn Michaels. Typical Shawn Michaels making his opponent look great. You had some back and forth action. You had Sherry being on Tatanka's side and Luna Vachon being on Shawn Michaels' side. You had good high flying stuff from both guys, and what better way for the first match to end than on a count out? This was perfect. This is a great booking decision. You end it on a count out this way. Every other match could just get better from a count out. After a count out, when you get your first pinfall, that makes people cheer for the pinfall. So ending the first match on a count out was total genius on the part of Vince McMahon, Shawn Michaels gets counted out. Luna Vachon beats up Sherry ringside. Tatanka comes to her aid. This was perfect. The ending, this was a good match, and the ending just made it so perfect. This was just the first start of just perfection going on throughout the night. The whole theme of this WrestleMania was perfection. Then the second match, you got the Steiner Brothers versus the Head Shrinkers. And this was a good tag team match. You had Scott Steiner when, before he was on a bunch of steroids, when he could actually wrestle. This went on for a long time like the previous match did. The opener went on for a long time for an opener. This got a lot of time too. You had some exciting spots. You had one of the Head Shrinkers. They were putting Rick Steiner in a doomsday device. One of the Head Shrinkers is trying to come off the top turnbuckle, and Rick Steiner counters him and does a power slam off of being on the shoulders of one of the Head Shrinkers. That was a good spot. It ended on a botched Frankensteiner from Scott Steiner, but that was perfect. You want your matches to end kind of bad in the first ones this time, so when you get good endings, people appreciate it. You make your first match end on a countout, you make your second match end on a botched finisher. This is how you work your way up to greatness. This is why WrestleMania 9 is so loved by everybody, because they knew how to make their endings work. So the Steiner Brothers get the victory. Then you get Doink the Clown versus Crush. And this is the first real, genuinely good match of the night. The opener, Shawn Michaels, Tatanka, and Shawn Michaels, not that great of a wrestler. But here we're getting Doink versus Crush. This is what, everybody wants to see. Shawn Michaels is just a little appetizer. Doink the Clown versus Crush. This was just technician at its best. Just wrestling technician. Just wrestling skills. A wrestling guru. Doink the Clown just knows how to work a match perfectly, and so does Crush. Yet, I've never seen moves executed so perfectly. Doink, one of the greatest gimmicks of all time. A clown with green hair. This is just fantastic. You know, Doink the Clown, a much better gimmick than, you know, The Undertaker ever had. Much better gimmick than Stone Cold as, you know, a beer drinking, being the shadow of his boss, Rebel. Doink the Clown is where it's at. I'm still surprised he's never been World Wrestling Federation champion. But Doink the Clown versus Crush, this was at least a 4.5-star match. You had a great ending. One of the most epic endings I've ever seen, you know. You had a Doink, a second Doink coming from under the ring and hitting Crush with the cast while the referee was down. So you had 2 Doinks in the match. I mean, 1 Doink is enough. 2 Doinks, it's like, this is so fucking awesome. I can't take all this. 2 Doinks in a match, you know, how could you complain? So Doink gets the victory. One of the Doinks get the victory on Crush. Fantastic match. And then you get Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund. This was 3 minutes of just greatness, you know. Bob Backlund botched a bunch of his moves. But this is what I mean about WrestleMania. This is great because when things work, people appreciate it because they're seeing all these botches, they're seeing all these shitty endings, but, you know, it's getting them in preparation for when stuff works, you know? You can't give greatness 24/7. You have to give a bunch of shit. This way, when something works, they appreciate it more. So, Bob Backlund botching his offense, I loved it. I loved every second of it. Razor Ramon beats Bob Backlund with a little roll-up. Perfect! Another great ending to a match, a roll-up. You know, working our way up that scale. Then you get the match for the Tag Team Championship, Money Inc., Ted DiBiase and IRS versus the Mega Maniacs, Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake. Oh, so this was a great match, you know. You had, it went on for a long time, you know. You had like a 10-minute sleeper hold in it. But that was great because I got to just, you know, look at Hulk Hogan's face and it's just so adorable. You know, I loved seeing his little black fucking beat up eye. So that 10-minute sleeper hold was, you know, just the time for me to settle down and just stare into the great black eye of Hulk Hogan and just fall in love with him. Because, you know, I had to fall in love with him for the end of what was going to happen at this WrestleMania. So it prepared me to love Hulk Hogan and to be happy for what happened at the very end of WrestleMania. But yeah, this was a great match. It ended fucking fantastically. This was one of the best endings. Every ending on here was fantastic on this card. You had the Hulk Hogan and Hulk Hogan and Bruce Beefcake getting disqualified. Why? I don't know. But why not is what I say. You know, why not just give them a disqualification? They got disqualified, Money Inc. wins, and then you get a great 10-15-minute celebration from the Mega Maniacs. So what if they didn't win the match? They're still allowed to celebrate. I mean, it's fucking Hulk Hogan, for Christ's sake. Is he not supposed to fucking celebrate? Lose, win, draw, it doesn't fucking matter. Hulk Hogan is supposed to celebrate for 15-20 minutes. This was fantastic. Then you got Lex Luger versus Mr. Perfect. You know, this match was slow and everything, but it's okay, you know? Like I'm saying, they're still building up. Things are supposed to be slow. See, some people aren't getting the point of this WrestleMania. They're doing this shit on purpose. They're trying to, you know, keep things bad so when it gets to good, people love it, like I keep saying. So this was a bad on purpose. This was a slow match on purpose. Lex Luger gets the win when he does a backslide pin to Mr. Perfect, even though Mr. Perfect has his foot on the ropes and the referee doesn't see it. So, you know, a clusterfuck, you know, just fucked up finish. Another great finish, you know. We're working towards that first, you know, clean finish. You know, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I promise it's going to happen. It might. I'm not sure, actually. But yeah, we're working towards that clean, awesome finish. We're working our way up the scale. Another fantastic match. Then, match of the night, without a shadow of a fucking doubt. The Undertaker versus Giant Gonzales. You know, people want to suck the cocks of Shawn Michaels and Undertaker for their WrestleMania 25, WrestleMania 26 match. As far as I'm concerned, it's all about fucking Giant Gonzales. You know, Shawn Michaels is fucking pales in comparison. He's fucking second fiddle compared to Giant Gonzales. This guy, you know, first of all, do you see this guy's body? What a great fucking body. Such well-defined pecs and abs and everything. This guy is just, you know, the poster boy of a great fucking body. You know, he was naked, you know, because he was there showing off his body. He didn't even need to wear any clothes because he had such a great fucking body. That was okay for him to be naked. Nothing, you know, I mean, people are like making up rumors that it was like a suit, a bodysuit he was wearing, but it obviously wasn't. This was obviously John Gonzales being naked, showing off his great, you know, physique of a body. And this match was, woo, fantastic. John Gonzales, one of the best in-ring workers of all time. One of the best realistic sellers of all time. He sold every move from The Undertaker perfectly. He executed some great moves, some great just wrestling technician, wrestling ring general moves from John Gonzales. Why The Undertaker is the one who has had a legacy, I don't understand, when it clearly should have been John Gonzales who is the one defending his streak to this day. It should be John Gonzales versus CM Punk, but for some reason, you know, people went with The Undertaker, the guy, you know, the second, you know, best talent from this match, when clearly John Gonzales was the top guy. But yeah, this was a fantastic match. The Undertaker wins with from a disqualification because John Gonzales puts chloroform on The Undertaker's face. So, you know, we're still working our way up. You know, we're getting there. I have a feeling by the end of the show we might get one clean finish. It could happen. Let's see. So we got a disqualification here. So, like Spinnernet says, there should be an asterisk on The Undertaker's streak. You know, this is disqualification. Doesn't amount to much of a win because obviously it's all about fucking John Gonzales. That's the real phenom as far as I'm concerned. Then you get the main event. One of the main events. Yokozuna versus Bret Hart for the WWF Championship. You know, this was one of the bad ones. This was going okay, but this clearly should not have been the main event. There's only one real main event. Let me just talk about this. You get Yokozuna versus Bret Hart, whatever, you know. They have a match. It's okay in spots. Bret Hart has the sharpshooter on Yokozuna. Mr. Fuji throws like dust, salt, or whatever in Bret Hart's eyes. Yokozuna pins him 1, 2, 3 to win the championship. Who gives a shit about that match? That should have been the main event. There's one match that people wanted to see, and that's Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna. And damn it, we got it. What a fantastic ending to this show, you know. Bret Hart tried, you know, 10 minutes to beat Yokozuna. He couldn't, but Hulk Hogan could do it in 20 seconds, brother. Yeah, this was awesome, you know. This is what I meant. They were getting us to love Hulk Hogan with that 10-minute sleeper hold, to look into his face, to start falling in love with him. This way we could be so psyched about this ending. Hulk Hogan comes rushing out. He's, you know, coming to the aid of Bret Hart, and Mr. Fuji's issuing a challenge to Hulk Hogan that Yokozuna will challenge Hulk Hogan right now for the belt, and Bret Hart's telling Hulk Hogan to go, and Hulk Hogan's looking at the fans if he should do it, and he decides to do it. He gets in the ring. Yokozuna holds Hulk Hogan by his arms. Mr. Fuji gets ready to throw the salt. Hulk Hogan ducks. It goes into Yokozuna's eyes. A couple of right hands. The big boot. The leg drop. Hulkamania is back, baby! What a great fucking ending, you know. It's WrestleMania 9. Yeah, I know Hulkamania, you know, was going since WrestleMania 1. But so what if it's fucking 9 years later? You know, it should always still be about fucking Hulkamania. Every ending to every WrestleMania has to feature Hulk Hogan. You know, it's kind of sad that the next WrestleMania, WrestleMania 10, doesn't end with a Hulk Hogan victory or doesn't feature Hulk Hogan. It kind of ruins WrestleMania afterwards for WrestleMania 9 after that point. That's why no WrestleMania has ever been better than WrestleMania 9. Because Hulk Hogan has never been featured again as the main event or winning the championship in a 30-second match. This was the greatest match I've ever seen. Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna. Instant classic, probably on my top 2 matches of all time. You know, I would say this and Doink versus Crush, my top 2 matches of all time. This was phenomenal stuff. You know, just burying Bret Hart, you know, the way he should be buried, because it will always be about Hulk Hogan. There's only one wrestler in the world, and that's Hulk Hogan. Everybody should be fucking buried. So I can't stand when people complain about this ending, because Hulk Hogan buries everybody, brother. Just deal with it. But yeah, what a fucking stellar show. You know, great togas, you know, great fucking elephants, camels, You know, Caesar's Palace, just a great fucking venue for WrestleMania. Great matches, great endings. And I guess we had one... I guess there was that clean ending on the card. It was the Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna. Yeah, it was kind of like out of the blue. But hey, this is what WrestleMania did. It got us worked up for that main event. So yeah, there we go. There's my review of WrestleMania 9. Fantastic show. I understand why everybody loves it. Quite frankly, if you're expecting me to review another WrestleMania and talk about it with such high praise as this, you're not going to get it. This is easily my favorite WrestleMania of all time. And if you have not checked the show out, please do so now. WrestleMania 31 better be back in Caesar's Palace. It better feature everybody in togas. It better feature the return of Giant Gonzales. And it better feature the return of Hulkamania, burying everybody on the roster right now. Alright, Jay Shady, Voice of Reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.